What's going on, boys? Today we are talking about evasive thinking. What do I mean by evasive thinking? Well, the last month or so, a little longer, but it's really crystallized this last month. My strategy for avoiding negative feelings or negative situations is not to engage. Whenever I feel a bad negative vibe coming on, I will maybe listen to a couple songs just to exercise it, then move on. I won't analyze what I'm thinking or how I'm feeling. I won't stick on it. I'll move on as soon as I can. And I'll avoid situations or stimuli which might bring up a negative feeling. Most of the time. Not all the time. For instance, July has been a sea of negative brainwave noosphere energy. Justified, because bad things have been happening. And it hasn't entirely gone away, so I suspect more bad things are coming. But after my grandfather died, a week or two later, I started feeling better. And I couldn't put a word on it because that fear is still in the background, that anxiety, that terror. But moment to moment, sometimes I feel okay. And I won't articulate the bad things because the moment I do, I'm stuck. All it takes is beginning to analyze one thing for that to turn into a rabbit hole of negative analysis. It's like you're stabbing yourself over and over again. When I don't let myself analyze at length, 100% of the time, those bad feelings superficially, I think, go away. They'll come back, but I won't be miserable if I don't make them real. And sometimes you can't stop that from happening. For example, I had some work trouble last week, and it frustrated me because this last month, I've given more to my job than I think I have to anything in a long time. Didn't go to my grandfather's funeral for a few reasons, but I still worked. I got sick, and I still worked when I should have been resting, because I don't want to shovel work onto other people or cause problems for other people. And then my boss causes problems for me and treats me like I'm shit. And that one didn't go away, and it was a pretty bad night and a half processing that, but it didn't stick. Right? The bad vibes or the bad feelings are like a jacket, a heavy weighted jacket on me, or on you. But you don't need to button it up. You take it off and move on, and it goes away. It'll come back. It will come back. It's like that line from My Little Dark Age. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's gone. But you aren't fighting it. It isn't killing you. And I think not letting it kill you every single day is better than letting it kill you every single day. However, that has turned into some weird things. For example, my mother is one of the few people I think I can talk to about what's actually bothering me. But maybe the last 2 or 3 months, the few times I try, I mean, this goes back a while, but the few times I try, I don't feel better, and there's a rebuff, and I feel worse. So, even though I've been feeling weird and bad latently, I've been avoiding speaking with her because I know if I do, I'll talk about what's bothering me, and I will give those ideas life, and then they'll have me. So, if I don't speak with her, or if I don't speak with people about my problems or what's bothering me, the problems will go away sooner than they would otherwise, and with less resistance. And they do. They'll come back, but they're weaker. You haven't given them strength. But as a result of that, I'm not speaking with my family as much. Another example, that INTJ friend I mentioned. We have a difficult friendship, and we ended up having a feelsy conversation not too long ago, in which there were a few weird and bad things about all that, but he tried to put words on things, on what was happening, what he was thinking, tried to put words on what I was thinking, and it was killing me, because the moment you put words on something, not only do you make it real, quotes, as real as anything is, but words don't capture what's actually happening. Words can be manipulated, they can be misinterpreted, and they were. What's more real, what's more valuable, are instincts, are suspicions, hunches. And when you listen to them without putting words on them or trying to put words on them, you can maintain everything much better. Your words won't come back to haunt you, because you don't mean what you say, you mean what you mean, and what you mean you can't translate. So stick with the instinctual. Stink with the notion of the ocean. That one I'll back a bit more than evasive thinking, because that's not necessarily evasive thinking, that's trusting your instincts and hoping others will do the same. Instincts will always get you better results than analysis. However, evasive thinking is more concerning, because it is effective. I do feel better, but it's driving me into a work hole. I don't think this is a TISI loop. Maybe it is, but it feels sort of similar, but less negative. I'm not analyzing what I'm thinking or how I am analyzing what I'm thinking, but it's happening on the outside. I'm analyzing the effects of what's happening, not the emotions or the sensations themselves. I'm digging myself into this hole so I don't need to think about things, using work. Work harder at my job. Try consciously to be nicer to more people at all times. Work on my book more. My novel is almost finished. It took me over a year to get it halfway done. And then one day, last week or so, after that dumb thing happened with work, I panicked, realized I'm dying, and I wrote 20,000 words in 4 days and moved it from halfway finished to over 2/3 finished. And it's not a long novel, but it's more than I've ever written in one sitting. Or in one sitting. I broke my original words per day PR, and my words in the shortest period of time PR. But that makes you feel a little bit better because you're accomplishing something, but once you've gotten out of that work orgy, you feel empty and terrified. And that'll go away too, because shit, we aren't thinking about anything. Just don't think about it, and it'll go away. And wouldn't you know it, it did. But it'll come back, I think. And the effects of what you did to avoid those things are still there. I know I'm going to start talking with my family again at some point, but I'm not right now. I know my work situation something will happen. I mean, something will happen. Everything always does eventually happen. And that's comforting, and whatever will happen is a comforting idea sometimes, but not knowing is terrifying and sort of empty. All-encompassing powerlessness, which is natural. You should get used to that. But I'm unsure what I think about this so far. So, this video's point. First and foremost, as always, trust your instincts. Don't misinterpret them or try to interpret them, or taint them in any way. And two, the one I'm a little more unsure about, don't feed your negative emotions. Don't wallow. I mean, you will wallow, and a little wallowing is okay, but digging yourself into a hole is a bad idea. If you don't feed them, you'll starve them out for a while, and they'll go away. The reason I'm unsure about it is the means by which you starve them out can be concerning and may come back to haunt you later, and they probably will. So, use your own discretion with that one. But that about rippity wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I certainly enjoyed making it. Yeah. I'm a little dry on ideas lately. Or, if not ideas, then how I should execute them. But I'll figure it out. Don't worry about that. Like if you enjoyed, because it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit sometimes. And comment your thoughts, because I love hearing from you. What have you boys been thinking about? How have your lives been going? What do you think about evasive thinking? Do you have any experience with that? I know for a fact a lot of you have experience with digging yourself into the wallow hole. If you feel like if you feel like sharing some experiences with that, I'd love to hear those. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Really, we have a lot of fun on this channel. So much fun, in fact. Melatonin. You can mix it with some melatonin and swallow it just a little bit and sleep a little bit better. I haven't been using melatonin anywhere near as much lately, thankfully. But I've been on this weird thing about staying up for 24 to 36 hours and then passing out for 14. And that works sometimes, but that isn't healthy, I think. And it isn't conducive to a good work schedule, but we'll see. But that's how much fun we have on this channel, and I look forward to doing this with you guys again in the future.